I'm going to try to explain why white people don't have culture. So essentially, we took a bunch of people from the continent of Africa, and within Africa, there's so many different types of culture. But we stripped all those people that we took from their culture, and they had to create a new one here. And the one thing all those people had in common was the color of their skin. So what we call that they created now is black culture. So the second thing that we need to understand is the construct of race and what it's meant to do. It's meant to oppress people of color, and it's meant to oppress specifically people who are closer to blackness. So the closer proximity you have to whiteness, the better you will be treated. And the more proximity you have to blackness, you will not be treated as well. So black culture was created of us stripping people of their original culture, and white culture is essentially white supremacy. So it's like the opposite of black culture. And yes, you have things like Italian culture, and Italians are primarily white, but we would call that Italian culture, not white culture, for example.
Hi, maybe you are speaking in this video about Americans, modern Americans, but modern Americans came from white settlers from Europe. European countries, European people have a long history, a long culture. Every single country in Europe have their distinctively meaningful history and culture. Germans, French, English people, Polish people, Czechs, Slovaks, Italians, Spanish people, Norwegians. We have all of the countries, we have our culture. We are white. Maybe modern Americans don't have culture. They are mixed from the cultures from the Europe. But yes, white people have distinctive cultures. Asian people have distinctive cultures. Black people have their culture. Every color of the humans have their culture. They have nations. They have their countries. They have the cultures, and in these countries they have smaller groups of the same color people. They have smaller cultures. Like in Polish, we have Mazurians, we have Kaszep people, we have people from Śląsk. We have a lot of small cultures in larger culture of the Poland. You should to expand your world beyond only America. Have a nice day.
Oh my God, that sounded so American. There is no white culture. There is no black culture. Just because you Americans don't have your own culture doesn't mean the rest of the world hasn't. When you maybe just visit a different continent, maybe go to Europe or maybe go to Africa. Alone in Africa, there are 54 different countries, over 1,400 different languages, and you umbrella termed with black people culture. How disrespectful. Come to Europe. Germany has a completely different culture from Spain or just Switzerland. Everything is different here. You are the guys not having your own culture and, I don't know, appropriating it. And yes, many of white cultures were in the past forced on other people and all of that crap. No doubt about it. But just oppression within white people. I am Swabian. I am from South Germany. But during Nazi Germany, Hitler decided that the perfect German culture is Bavarian. Therefore, he suppressed all of the different cultures within Germany, because Germany is made of 100 different cultures and people, old Germanic people, and he suppressed all of it. That's why all of the world thinks about lederhosen and dirndl when thinking about Germany. You are not the only ones, but you're the only ones constantly crying about it. And I hate it. Just leave your country once and learn a little bit about the rest of the world.
I'm going to try to explain why I hate ignorance. Culture is not defined by the shade of your skin. Culture is defined by language, your traditions, architecture, your clothing, your cultural food, and so much more. We all come from somewhere, and we all have a culture. Stop spreading some ignorant misinformation. Educate yourself, please.
What? What about people from Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Cuba? What about Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark? Those white people from there don't have their own culture, bro? Okay.
Ethnicity, not race. When you say, what about people from country XYZ? Ethnicity looks at culture based on shared norms, experiences, practices, and values of people who live in or come from a certain geographic location. Now, that's different from race. Race groups people based on physical characteristics and transcends geographic location. So when we think about Black culture based on Black skin color, that culture comes from shared experiences, norms, values, and practices that have stemmed from hundreds of years of worldwide systemic oppression that has created a shared identity based on skin color. White people do not have a shared unified identity and culture that simply stems from being white. White people exist under many different ethnic identities in the same way Black people do, but we do not have a shared white culture like Black culture.
I'm going to try to explain why white people don't have culture.
What about you, sweetheart? Look, I'm not trying to be crass but uncouth. That's the way I normally am. But I'll try to choose my words more carefully with you, if you don't mind. White people do have a culture here in America and everywhere else. Black people have a culture here and everywhere else. So does Asians, Mexicans, my people, the Indians. Okay, let's break it down. There was one guy on here, he made a comment about braids being a black person thing. He got trashed by black people, by white people, Norsemen, Vikings, Indians, and I've seen even one with a Japanese girl was showing where people had braids. So, that's one thing. Since a lot of the black culture was removed when the Africans actually sold the people they enslaved to the white people, a lot of white people actually took away their culture. That much is true. They tried to take away our culture, and mostly succeeded. But the black people here have an identity issue. They started saying that they were the first Native Americans, which was proven wrong many times over, but they still say it. A lot of black people try to say they're the true Indians, and they're lying. So, is the black culture is considered stealing from everybody else and claiming it their own? No, it's just a bunch of idiots that's doing so. But what I would do, I would offer you to talk to a person. He's a great content creator, and he talks about racial issues. And he would help correct you on a lot of your misinformation, your assumptions. Great guy. You don't have to worry about him sliding in your DMs, trying to fornicate with you, like somebody like Modern Warrior and many other content creators out there. Both sides. But talk to him. He's got a husband. His name is Millennial Spike Lee. He's a great guy. Like I said, he attacks racial issues. He's a great content creator, and he's also black. So please check him out. I'll also tag him in this for you. But peace and love, Angel.
It's objectively not true because white people literally have culture. Like they literally have it. They have your culture. They took it and they put it here.
norteñas.
Go watch that whole video because it's beautiful. This is what people mean when they say white people don't have culture. Because you put a bunch of people who look like me from all over the place in a room and play fucking Sweet Caroline and then Don't Stop Believin', no one would know what to do. It's like the song would change. Simultaneously, everyone would go, oh my God, I love this song, and proceed to jump off beat. You heard me right. I didn't say dance. I said jump. Be like a few fist pumps. If you're lucky, one of these numbers. What the fuck is...
Hey y'all, we got a ginger over here trying to tell us that we're cultureless. Can't wait to finish the video and see what the ginger has to say.
It's like saying something absurd like, I'm going to try to explain why houses don't sell groceries. There's no correlation whatsoever. They're completely unrelated. Skin color is merely melanin levels. It has nothing to do with culture whatsoever. Culture has to do with community, nationality, heritage. None of that has to do with skin color. You do realize that there are white-skinned people by the billions all over the world from so many different countries and areas with their own tradition. I just can't.